Hey guys, Donatello Kruger here with another fantastic video about how to make coconut chicken curry. Now, this is not going to be a traditional way of making coconut chicken curry. It's a quick way to make coconut chicken curry. And to be honest with you, there's no roux, there's no yogurt or Greek yogurt involved with putting like the cornstarch and stuff like that with the chicken overnight. None of that. This is a quick, fast, easy way to make coconut chicken curry. Alright guys, first ingredient for this is going to be potatoes that I'm going to cut up, and then the second ingredient is chicken. You can do a pound and a half or 2 pounds of chicken. So the next thing you're going to do is start cubing up your chicken in 1" by 1" little cubes, and then you're going to get your pan to a medium high right here. I put a little bit of olive oil in there, and my next ingredient is going to be this coconut oil, because it's coconut chicken curry with a little twist in it. Guys, so also the reason why I said a pound and a half to 2 pounds, it's a lot easier to manage. You could probably put a pound and a half of the chicken into the skillet and get away with cooking the entire pound and a half, versus if you did 2 pounds, you're going to have to do 2 batches, and all we're doing is browning the chicken. Also, we're just using about maybe 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Okay guys, now that this chicken is browned, I need to go over the spices with you. So here we go. I have a plethora of spices here ready for you to look at. And what we're going to do here today is we're going to get started with the garlic. I like a lot of garlic, so this is probably equivalent to about 6 cloves of minced garlic. And so we're going to do 2 of those. Now it's going to seem like a lot. It's not. Okay, we're going to put that back in here. We're going to do 1 cup of water, or just under 1 cup of water. That's done. All right, we're going to throw in some oil. And this is probably equivalent to about 2½ tablespoons, maybe, give or take. That's to kind of loosen up your curry. Now, this is not a traditional curry. Now, the next one we're going to save for later. This is going to come later in it, but this is an important spice. Now, the next one, or not spice, but you know what I mean. This one is an important one. This is ginger. So we're going to put like the majority of what comes out of here in there, and then the remainder we're going to put into the rice cooker. Moving forward, we have coriander seeds. There's a couple different ways you can do this. You can either have the ground version of it, or you can make the actual coriander seeds, fry them in the skillet, and then ground them up with it after you've kind of sauteed the seeds. In this case, we're just using the ground up coriander seeds. So we're going to throw that in here. You can use more or to your liking for any of these. Really, I prefer to use this ratio. I don't do this every time. This is just for your guys' kind of visual enjoyment here. Most of the time, I also put more curry than this, curry powder. This is the traditional or regular, not traditional, generic curry powder. And my favorite curry powder is actually this Indian curry powder. I got it from a Asian food market up in Kansas City. It was only $6.50 for this entire thing. And as you can tell, I've used it all. The next one is garam masala. And that might sound familiar to tiki masala. And this is a very potent spice. You could go overkill with it. I do go a little overkill with it. But I like my garam masala. So we're going to add that in here. Okay. The next one is Chinese 5-spice. Don't go too crazy on this one. This one's even more potent than the garam masala because it has so many different things in it. So we're just going to use a little bit of that. Kind of tip-tappity that out. Okay. The next one is black pepper. As you know, we all love black pepper. I like putting about this much in. And this is to make a curry paste. Now this one is to kick it up another notch. I didn't measure this one out because I always eyeball it. This is a ground fresh chili paste. And really it's just to make your curry a little spicier. But this one, I'm just adding the chili paste in. We're just going to do about that much. It's mainly for the taste, not for the heat. A lot of people are all about the heat, and I'm not. Curry in itself is already a very beneficial meal, and sometimes if you add too much heat to it, it's not good for the gut, and it actually does the opposite. Also, we have sweet chilies here. So these may not all go into your blender. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick this up, we're going to move it down here, and we're going to just start plucking or popping these chilies in here, as you may see now. Okay. And usually right about here, you want to stop and start blending. Okay guys, so I blended what we had in there. We're going to go ahead and keep adding in the additional peppers. And again, these are sweet peppers. I got these from the supermarket. You can get them pretty much anywhere. I took the tops off and I kept the seeds in there. Now the final ingredient here is going to be tomato paste. Now you can choose to do tomato sauce or tomato paste. You can choose to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Combine it with your curry as you cook it. I prefer now I'm going to put it in with my paste to actually make the curry paste because it makes sense. They're paste buddies. 2 and 2 together. Yes. So let's do that now. Alright guys, and this is what we're left. We're left with this giant thing of just like paste, right? So it depends upon how much you're going to make for your curry. For me, I'm making up basically 5 days worth, and I'm going to freeze it, maybe more. My wife isn't here. She's with me. She's actually out in California. This is going to be the type of pot that I'm using to make my curry. So I'm going to have plenty of stuff in there. And so, yep, on to the next step. Okay, so I'm not good at making roux. Most of the time I burn roux when I'm trying to make a roux. I'm really bad at it. So don't hate me, all right? The next thing I'm going to do here is just throw this chicken right in here. I know you guys are probably judging me going, what the heck is this guy doing? This is not a traditional curry. I should probably put a disclaimer on this. Don't try this at home. But if you want to, I don't care. You're probably not going to burn your house down. But if you do, you can't blame me, okay? Alright, so I went ahead and what I did was, just a second ago, is I sauteed some ginger and some garlic in there. Again, I love garlic, I love ginger. It's good for you. You should eat it all the time. Anyways, I'm going to throw in some tomato sauce, right? Right. So we're going to do half the tomato sauce now, and I don't know if this makes a difference or not. And we're going to do half of this paste that we just made a second ago, right? Ooh, yeah, we're going to pour it all in there. It's going to be one of those kind of videos. Okay, so we got that going. We're just going to let that do its thing. Now, we got to pop out the trusty wooden spoon, okay? The wooden spoon is your friend in these kinds of situations. And you talk to your curry, you become friends with the curry, okay? And it's one of those things you have to build a relationship, because when you start making curry, unless you're like very like anal retentive about all the ingredients and how everything goes, good for you. But if you're an experimental type of person like I am, and you love to put different spices and things and try different techniques in different ways, your curry's not going to love you every time, because you're going to be putting in different things different ways every time. Also, however long you choose to cook your curry will also affect the taste, and how hot you cook your curry will affect the taste. I like to put my curry at first on a 3, right? We're not trying to scald the curry. We're just trying to saute it at first. We're trying to warm it up. You know, it's getting ready to run some sprints, run some hurdles, but we're not gonna let it bang its knee up on the first hurdle. You know what I mean? You need to let it kind of warm itself up. Stir the chicken around a little bit. I do that a lot, probably at least 10 times while I'm making curry. All right, and then we're gonna let this kind of set for like a good 5 minutes. Okay guys, so this has been, you know, kind of chilling, opposite of chilling, bubbling for like the last 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and add a last bit of this. A lot of us will scrape this all out, but for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to scrape this out. And then the other half of this, good old chili paste. I really recommend you guys trying to make your own chili paste for the first time. Not chili paste, curry paste. And that's something else I was going to mention. You can put chili powder in curry paste, and it will come out different ways depending upon what you have in your chili paste. Some people even put honey in their chili or in their curry paste, And I will be the first to admit, it's pretty good stuff. There's sweet chili, or sweet curries. Now I say chilies all the time. There's sweet curries. There's spicy curries. There's bold curries. There's more like there's just all sorts of different curries. They have them in Japan. They have them in India. They have them in just places. Not coming to my mind right now. So the next thing we're going to add here, obviously this is chicken coconut curry, is we have coconut milk. Now this is a very basic one that I got from the Hispanic aisle, Mexican aisle in Walmart. And if you want, you can get the thicker coconut varieties. You can also get lighter coconut varieties. I just grabbed one off the shelf. This is like $1.70. If you like your curries a little bit more coconutty, you can go ahead and do another can of coconut. If you like your curries to be more tomatoey, you can add a little bit more tomato sauce in there or tomato paste. I haven't quite experimented with more coconut before, but what I would do is do coconut shavings from actual coconuts instead of doing the coconut milk. But you can do whatever you want. It's, as Bob Ross says, this is your world. You make it come true, and that's what I feel about curry. Curry, like, if I smell it, it just makes my day. And sometimes we all lack the motivation. We all get a little lazy. We don't want to do what we got to do to make the world turn the right way, or the curry turn the right way. And when it boils down to it, once you once you start making that curry, everything's just right then. All right. So now, since we got that all in there, I'm not going to add all of this. We're going to just start adding little handfuls of it into the curry. Okay. And this is where everything kind of melts down. It's the melting pot. All the spices melt down. The potatoes start cooking good. I'd give it a good 35 minutes, stirring 3 or 4 times occasionally, or however you see fit. And then what you want to do is, once you get enough in here, you're just going to want to see where your curry's at, if you want to add more. Now keep in mind, we still have to add shredded carrots, and we still have to add spinach. If you guys want to add other things like eggplant, or if you want to add onions, I didn't add onions, or if you want to add tofu, you can add tofu. It doesn't have to be a meaty curry. It can be a vegetarian curry. So you guys do what you want to do with your curry. That's why I love curries. They're so versatile. There isn't enough potatoes in here, so I'm going to go ahead and add more potatoes. There's something that my wife really likes. I can't remember the name of it right off the bat, but it's another Asian type of potato. And she has hot pot with her sibling in Oklahoma every once in a while, and they really like hot pot. And that potato is in hot pot, and basically what hot pot is it's a type of Asian dish, but it's a boiling thing of like pho basically, and you're adding in your ingredients into the pot, and then you take the ingredients out of the pot and eat them on your plate. And you can add, basically take the liquids out of the pot and eat them with it, kind of like a pho. But basically you're putting it all into the pot, you're cooking it, which is a pho type of base formula, and then you're going to eat it. It's a lot of work. I feel like in a way, the people who do the hot pot, they're not actually doing the cooking. They just cut out all the stuff on like a big charcuterie board, and then you just get to pick whatever you want to put in there, like the cabbage and the noodles and the meat and whatever. Usually if you're going to eat hot pot, that is going to cost an arm and a leg. Curry, however, on the other hand, it's really inexpensive. As you can see here, we got potatoes. We had about 1.5 pounds of chicken. You have all the spices already. All of those spices are probably going to cost you about $20, give or take. And then once you have these spices, they last quite a while. So this giant thing of curry here lasted me 1.5 years, I want to say. But yeah, we're going to let this cook, and then we'll come back. Alright guys, so we have let the curry kind of sit here for a good 20 minutes give or take. It's still not done, so we're going to add the next ingredients in, which is shredded carrots. I love shredded carrots. I usually add about 2 handfuls of this in. Kind of looks like cheese in this lighting, but I can promise you it says shredded carrots. Alright. You know what, we're going to do a little bit more. Why not? Carrots are really good for you, all that vitamin E, good for your eyes. Good for your eyes. Alright, moving over here to the spinach. Now, all of this looks like a lot. I promise you, it will condense down, whatever the word is. It will combine in. Look, see? So, we're going to go ahead and set this all on top, like so. Alright. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of press this in to the curry. This will become the curry. And I promise you, it looks chunky now and it looks really weird. Don't worry. You have to just kind of work with it. And eventually the leaves, the spinach leaves, they start breaking down. And they will eventually fall into the curry. It just takes a little bit of time. Okay, so this time, instead of putting the pot lid on, I'm going to leave it open. And we're going to let the spinach kind of do its thing, just sitting here on top. And now, I will say, most people who want to thicken up their curry, they're going to add some heavy whipping cream. Probably like half a cup of heavy whipping cream, or maybe a full cup, depending upon how thick they want it. I didn't have any. I completely spaced it, so I just added like half a cup of milk. It's better than nothing, and milk is schmilk, you know what I mean? So we're going to let this do its thing. Now we're going to let this kind of sit here for like another 30 minutes, and might as well add in the lime juice while we're at it. So I'll do that now. Okay. So with the lime juice, we're just kind of give it a good squirt around here. Good enough. We're done with the lime juice. We're going to stir that. I'll come back to you guys here in a bit. Alright, so if you've never had like just regular white rice before, I highly recommend, instead of going to like your generic stores like Albertsons, Dillon's, Kroger, Walmart, any of those places that sell jasmine white rice, they're really ripping you off, let's be honest here. Go to an Asian food market store, spend the money to get like a 20-pound or a 25-pound bag of rice. You're basically going to end up saving about $5 to $10, depending upon how much you buy. And get the giant bag of rice. This is the best rice you can possibly get. And I'm not talking about this brand specifically. I don't know what brand that is. I'm talking about the rice from where they make it, right? And so, specifically, this is made in the Philippines. But get this stuff. It's good, all right? So, what I do is I do a 1-to-1 ratio. So this is 1 cup right here. And then that would go here into the rice cooker, right? And you always want to rinse your rice out 2 to 3 times minimum. People who don't rinse their rice out are just ingesting starch. Just starch. That's all they're eating really when they do that. And so what we're going to do here is do our 1 cup in here. I'm going to make 3 cups tonight because I'm going to meal prep. This whole pot is meal prepping for this week. I'm actually heading out to California this upcoming Sunday. Today is Sunday, February 27th, I believe. Okay, so we have 3 cups in there. Now we're going to rinse it. And when I talk about, so we have the rice in here, right? You're just going to take your hands and you're going to pretend like you're playing with sand. And you're going to start seeing all of the water turn white. And this is what the starch in the rice looks like. And this is why you should rinse your rice. Also, you should rinse your rice in case there's any weird things in your rice, because these come from other countries, and they could also have little baby granules in there of rice that just aren't good. So we're going to go ahead and rinse it. And as you can see, that's nothing but starch. You're just basically pouring off into the sink, right? Okay, we're going to go ahead and do this again. Like I said, 3 to 4 times minimum. Don't cut this corner. Please do not cut this corner. Okay, so now it's gonna start looking a little bit lighter. Don't care. Okay, and one more time. I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright guys, and voila, just like that, we have the rice in the rice cooker. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning 3 cups with 3 cups of water. So 3 cups of rice, 3 cups of water. Throw it in there. This is a really beaten up rice cooker, so Uncle Roger would be very angry with me the way I treat my rice cooker. And as you can see, it's a little dirty. I don't care. It lasts. It's a Walmart rice cooker. It was like 20 bucks. I've even hot glued this all the way around here because it fell off. Who cares? Come on, Uncle Roger. Give me a review on my rice cooker. What do you think? And we'll get back to you guys here after a bit once it's done cooking. Alright, and 25 minutes later, the rice is done cooking. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is plate it into this magical bowl. A curry dish is not complete without naan bread. And if you ever try it and have the consistency of curry, bread, and rice all in one bite, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. And for the final touch here, we're going to go ahead and add the curry into the bowl. So we're going to do this now without hopefully putting way too much stuff in here or spilling too much stuff. And if you have some cilantro, that would be the best topping to throw on top of here. Or if you're more of a sriracha kind of person, get some sriracha and just throw it on there. You know, some people don't like sriracha or adding extra spices on top of their meal, but if you like it, do it. That's all that matters is that you like your curry or your meals or whatever, however you guys like to eat them. With that being said, remember, it takes time to build the relationship with the curry. And if you need any help, let me know. I'm not a curry master, but one day I will be, hopefully. See you later.